There were Puerto Ricans creating breakdancing moves that nobody else was doing.
No, they were doing moves that some of the old breakdancers were doing. Crazy Legs and those dudes admitted they were doing old dance moves that the FBA dancers were doing. Puerto Ricans didn't start breaking until the late 70s, early 80s.
I was like her signature. She does this.
I'm originally from New York City, but my parents are from Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico, a beautiful island. But urban art has become a surprising catalyst for change here. Stunning murals in some of the most hard-scrabble barrios. Murals that tell the history of the neighborhoods and the island. That give people a voice. That inspire hope and pride in those that live here. That are simply beautiful. Art by the people and for the people.
Charlie Case, as cute as could be, you sell your soul to the devil to play like me.
Well, I'm the R, Ruby D, and you got a lot of nerve when you play against me. You know you're gonna get served.
Cold Crush, Shady L, the Lord, the Ruby D, my man, your shit is on the board.
You all can't ball, you all can't ball. I'm the K, Kevin Ken, and I'm not the fake. You know I eat your ass up like a steak you take.
Cold Crush, you know the R, the game is legit. When we get on the court, I'm gonna sneak your shit.
The W,
Wiggle Whip, and I'm here to say that I can rock the world like the Dr. J. Cold Crush, on the tone, knows to be real, but everybody know I can feel with the bill. I'm the D, gotta rock on this shit court. I've been 9 years old playing this here sport. Cold Crush, AD, as high as degree, I got a better jump shot than Rick Barry.
Well, I'm the M, like all the pretty girls. I serve your monkey ass like Earl the Pearl.
Cold Crush, I'm not the cab on GMC. I'm gonna stick it on the board, man, can't you see?
We have to come to an agreement who's gonna survive the Cold Crush 4 or the Fantasy 5. Or when the balls go swish, they always score. But can they do it with the Cold Crush at their door?
Well, I'm Theodore, and I'm dogging my face when I get on the court. Beat I'm always giving you more. You can't deal with me, Wizard Theodore.
Fantastic is romantic. What? Romantic is fantastic.
The master Rob, I like the loop-de-loop. I'm gonna take the ball right to the hoop. I shake and bake and then I rock you well, cause I am the man with all the clientele.
Hip-hop, we're set out in the dark. Hip-hop, we're set out in the dark. Hip-hop, we're set out in the dark.
Be very clear.
Also, it was created in the Bronx. Who was living in the Bronx, New York at the time in this neighborhood? There's two groups living in the Bronx in this neighborhood at the time. Black, foundational Black Americans, and right next to them were Puerto Ricans.
But the Puerto Ricans at the time in New York, many of them were on the same racist as a lot of people out here. Puerto Ricans were not rocking with black people like that. In fact, the Puerto Rican gangs, they were walking around with swastikas on their damn jackets. The Puerto Ricans were called Nazis by some of the cats out there because they were aligning themselves with that white supremacist ideology. They were not rocking with brothers. You listen to interviews with Grandmaster Caz, he even said, hey man, it was only 1 or 2 Puerto Ricans rocking with us. They were racist against us and they were playing the congas and they weren't really going to parties like that. It was only 1 or 2. So we're not going to give credit to 1 or 2 folks who wandered off into a party and make it seem like that person was a creator. It's a 100% FBA creator.
Members in the Black Spades.
And you know this,
You know what I'm saying?
man.
They're Hispanic members of the Black Spades. Tex! Right, Tex, right? Is Latino, and there's a few others. My man Wild Child, they were all Puerto Rican. So we've always had that. It's always been a Black and Hispanic. We had a couple of dudes who were white.
That's
so
right.
you gotta understand, when we were doing as B-boys and everything, that was an underground culture. I mean, it was what we were doing inside. That's why when all these people come with, well, this is Brooklyn, this, that, and the other. That was very much and I traveled to Brooklyn, Queens, because I have family in Queens. We did party in Brooklyn. They weren't feeling what we were doing as far as B-boys and stuff were concerned. You know, they really weren't doing it. The dominant culture in dance as far as partying was the hustle, particularly the Latin hustle. As you know, we've talked about that. The Latin hustle, that led to the disco craze. You know what I mean? That led to the disco craze. And that's what I like. Dude, exactly. Van McCoy, do the hustle. And the Latin hustle is really what brought in the disco craze. Because, you know, once white people grab on it, then all of a sudden it's like, you know, that whole 2001 Odyssey and Saturday Night Fever business. But cats have been doing that way before that. Way before that. We down in the Epoca, we down Bonds Casino, we're in the Stardust Ballroom. You know, one of the things that has happened, obviously, as you know, there's a lot of controversy regarding allegations against Africa Bambaataa, you know, who is a friend of mine, who I love dearly. I mean, you know, good brother. And obviously I'm very saddened by the allegations and things that he's dealing with. And I don't really want to get into that here. That's a topic for another story. But what it has done is created a dialogue that has provided those of us the opportunity to talk about the true timelines and to correct some of the misinformation, you know, about the beginnings of the Zulu Kings, the beginnings of what is known today as hip-hop. You know, Bam and I have had that discussion, you know, when I was with him at the last Zulu Nation anniversary. And I asked, I said, Bam, you know, you gotta address a lot of these things that people are saying that you know are not true. And I have to say, Bambaataa himself is not the person who makes a lot of those claims. Although the date for the Zulu Nation is in error and he has to take responsibility for that. But the other stuff, it's not stuff that he says. I mean, they've said like, he brought all the gangs together, he stopped all the gang violence in New York City, in the Bronx. That's just simply not true. You know, and I said that before and got all kinds of flack from characters from all over the place, popping all kinds of bull crap. And you try to explain things to people in an intellectual and educated way, and they still want to hear it. The gangs, the youth gangs of the Bronx in the 70s, we were just that. We were youth gangs. You know, we were teens, we were youth. And it died out. The Latin hustle culture, as you pointed out down here, when they start dancing and going to the clubs and the Latin hustle, that helped bring peace down here. But Bam himself was not the person who brought an end to gang culture, and he never says he did. And it's unfortunate that, you know, it's taken all of this stuff that's going to actually bring this dialogue around. But, you know, it's an important dialogue. We talked a lot about some of the early history of what came to be known as hip-hop. And more importantly, we talked a lot about the, for lack of a better term, false information that people have put out. There's a lot of mythology around the beginnings of what came to be known as hip-hop, the beginnings of early b-boys, all those various kinds of things. Because I think it's really important for people who were there to tell the story as it happened. Because a lot of people are telling the story, one, a bunch of people who weren't around, so they really don't know anything. And someone is telling them something that is really not accurate. It's important for those of us, such as yourself, people like me, Kool Herc, Flash, numerous other people who were around in the very beginnings, to tell the story of how this thing called hip-hop really came into existence, the early days, the gang-banging days. So this is really about telling people what the true history of b-boys and the beginnings, and setting the timeline straight, and what did and did not happen. And the style, what we like to call burning, you refer to it as rocking. Right. You know what I mean? That's what was taking place late 60s, early 70s, before we started hitting the floor, spinning around. That's right. You know, that wasn't occurring yet. And burning was more of a freestyle kind of a thing. It involved a lot of showing up the other person, embarrassing them, you know, you mush them in the face, you do all kinds of stuff, right. A lot of style, a lot of comical stuff with it, all right? But we weren't hitting the floor yet. So you get a lot of people who are those early cats, like my man Dancing Doug, Dougie Cologne.
Good morning, my name is Douglas Cologne. People know me as Dancing Doug, one of the first b-boys from the Herculoid days, Kool Herc and Coco Rock parties. I wanted to talk about something. We have a big movement now regarding racism and civil unrest, you know, regarding inequality amongst people of color. But I want to talk about something different. I'm going to talk about the same situations, racism in our b-boy community, especially going back historically with the Black and Puerto Rican influences in b-boy culture. Curtis Blow and Crazy Legs just did an interview, I think it was Thursday, and Kurt said something really, really cool. He said that hip-hop is a mother who had 4 children. One is the graphic artist, the DJ, the MC, and the B-boy. Those are the 4 elements of hip-hop. He says that the rapper, the MC, is making all the money now. But back in the days, it was the DJ who was the one who made everything pop. It was like Kool Herc had the spots, He had a big system. And really, I want to address a few things to come around to a few things. One of which is a picture that's been spread around about Herc. And it shows with a little phonograph. When Herc played, Herc had his father's sound system. His father was a band member of a Jamaican band. He played with a band sound system. That's why he blew everybody out. So that phonograph is total BS. And people are using that to try to discredit him. And in essence, try to discredit all of us. We go back to the start of hip-hop, b-boy dancing back in August 11, 1973. Even though people were dancing before then. What made b-boys basically was that when Herc played with this, what he called merry-go-round, by playing 2 songs, he extended that break. We danced a whole record, and then when the break part came, that's when you would do your little thing. But nowadays, b-boys just break, and they break, and you break, and he breaks, and he breaks, and he breaks. It wasn't like that in the beginning. And when someone says, well, you guys are not b-boys, that's kind of crazy, because when you think about it, the coin expression of b-boys was given to us. We were the first ones they gave the name to. When Herc, they said, well, who said it? Herc said it or Coke said it? I don't remember. They both were saying it. Who said it first between Coke and Herc? I don't remember. I actually don't remember. They both were saying it. Who said it first? That's something you can never debate. They both said it, so I'm not sure who said it first between the 2 of them. But that's what was coined for us breaking at that point. And when they extended the break, we had to do more and more and more and more. And that's where the whole thing about going to your moves had to be extended and extended and extended and extended, and you start making breaking moves. That's it. It ain't really that difficult. When you talk to people who say that the blacks were this or the Puerto Ricans are a guest in hip hop, that's the most ridiculous statement you can make. I mean, the stupidity is beyond words. And I'm sorry if I'm insulting people, but the reality is there is no b-boys without Puerto Ricans, right? We know that. How can you sit and say something stupid as that? Even though there's an argument saying, well, you hear some of the Puerto Rican brothers saying something, the black brothers saying something, and that's that racist crap. We gotta get past that. We have to get past that, because there is no b-boys without the black guys, at the Herc party, start whatever case is, and then going over to Flash with the BAM and everything else, and you got TBB, and then Rocksteady, and the dynamic Rockers, Rocksteady crew, all the crews, New York City Breakers, 7 Deadly Sins, all the crews that came up after that. If it wasn't for that, coming from that historical time, you wouldn't have it. So if someone says that you're not a b-boy, how can you say that when I'm the first b-boy? When Herc and Coke said b-boy, they was us. So that makes no sense. So I need guys to stop that and stop saying the blacks did this, the Puerto Ricans did that, the blacks did this, the Puerto Ricans did that. There is no b-boys without blacks and Puerto Ricans, period.
Okay, let me straighten something out for everyone. A lot of people think that the hustle started with John Travolta in that movie in 1977, after the movie Saturday Night Fever and stuff like that. Some people claim that it came from Brooklyn or from Queens, from the Lower East Side. No, baby. The hustle was born right here in the South Bronx, created by young Puerto Rican teenagers. And I can tell you this, all right, the hustle saved my life. I think people need to understand how volatile this area was. The South Bronx was definitely the murder capital of New York. You had to be brave to go to school because there was always violence. The teachers were afraid, to go to teach. We were oppressed. And so what happens when you oppress the people? They rebel. They hate the establishment and they do stupid shit. We weren't bad kids. We needed strong, positive leaders. We got that at St. Mary's Center and for several key people that cared about us. When I got involved with the gang and I became a leader, I was only 16 years old. So we started patrolling the parking lot, and when we caught somebody robbing somebody or worse, we'd beat the crap out of you, and we'd tell you who we were. But once I became one of the leaders, that started to change. And it was a dance that helped us make those changes by bringing a lot of people together in peace and unity. The way we got involved with the dance initially is because we used to dance slow with the girls. And so the elders didn't like the way we danced with them because we grind with the girls. So that was the catalyst that started giving birth to the development of the hustle. Before it was even called the hustle. I'm just tired of us being left out of the narrative and our history squashed. You know, people use our dance and our culture, but they don't give us credit. It's almost like we didn't exist. Our Latino stories need to be told because they're beautiful. They're filled with love and inspire people. So stop pissing me off, okay?
I'm just trying to relate on what people think they know about the rocking days. You know, there's to this very day a giant controversy, which is something that they've always had. And for whatever reason, it was the Brooklyn thing, or was it a Bronx thing, or was it a Manhattan thing? And the bottom line is, it didn't originate in Brooklyn. Matter of fact, even back then, the controversy was to a point the way it is now. But when we were in the Central Park in the Fountain, and we were rocking, we had the Soul Riders Incorporated, and we got all the dances.
It's like a lot of people, I travel the world now in a lot of salsa events, and people are making all kinds of claims, you know. But you know what? They're gonna have to fess up like everybody else in the world. New York is where mambo was nurtured and developed. Hustle was where New York it all happened. High rock, New York. We can debate which borough it is and everything like that.
A lot of guys look at, up rocking came out in the Bronx, the Queens, and Brooklyn, the Bronx always had a rivalry of up rocking. And to straight up and tell everybody like it is, it was New York.
Well, basically, your club started out as an underground thing. So people don't realize we had Brooklyn posses, respect. We had Bronx posses, respect.
So when y'all talk about you came from Brooklyn, Queens, or Staten Island, motherfuckers, you better ask somebody, me.
Okay, now homeboy's talking about that Brooklyn started the dance. You see, that's a problem right there, B.
New York is a spirit. It doesn't matter if you're from Brooklyn. It doesn't matter if you're Manhattan, Bronx, Queens. You from New York, period.
You may be in Brooklyn and I may be in the Bronx. We both have developed the same basic moves because of our roots. All of a sudden hearing a particular beat, a particular rhythm that will move us in the same way. Whether somebody did it first in Brooklyn, did it first in the Bronx, did it first in Manhattan. My claim to fame is at least we had it here in New York.
It is quite possible that it did not originate in Brooklyn. It's also quite possible it didn't originate in the Bronx. It is plausible, listen to this theory, it is plausible that it was just this synergy, that's an excellent word. It was this synergistic thing. And the lifeblood of that synergy flowed through the clubs. ¿Tú me entiendes? So that when somebody from the Bronx came to the Orange Peel, or somebody from Brooklyn went up to the Bronx, there was this cross-pollination happening.
So, you know, to say where rock originated from, I don't know if anyone can do that. It came from the Latino communities. That I know for sure.
That you can guarantee.
That I can guarantee. You know, which community or which borough owns it. I don't think anyone can lay claim to it. That's just my opinion.
Yo, this is DJ Flag.
Also, the history of hip-hop, it came along after the hustle. The hustle was formulated back in the early 70s. And it was mostly Latins and blacks that was into that. They mastered the hustle so crafty. I mean, mostly Latins, crafty. Then the brothers, we got even more classy and craftier with the hustle too. But the hustle was first created, then hip-hop came along after that. We all know hip-hop came along after that because we wasn't really going for the hip-hop, but hip-hop ruled anyway.
I would say 1974, 75. I first saw it in 75. They might have been doing it in 74, okay? But 73, it wasn't b-boying the way we know b-boying. Not that I saw, and I was around. It wasn't that kind of people. It was the standing up, the pin drop, dropping back, maybe a split, you know, something you might see almost like on Soul Train, the locker dancer kind of thing. You see some of that. But the spinning on the floor and all those things that the modern b-boy, what you would recognize the modern b-boy, that's not till around 1975 somewhere. The date that is used as the date of the Zulu Nation anniversary is actually November 12th, 1973. Now, there's a lot of dispute with that. And I've talked to Bam about it. And Bam, as you know, Bam is going through his own thing right now, so we're not here to really talk about any of that. But, you know, I've talked to Bam about that before. And he has his own reasons for creating his date, and what he actually said, he creates the date from the day that he conceived the idea, okay? What I am telling you is that in 1973, we were still Black Spades. We were very much still Black Spades. And the Bronx River Organization, which is the predecessor to the Zulu Kings and the Zulu Nation, didn't begin, and this is by Bambaata's own words, did not begin until the death of Soulski, Ronald Bethel, who was president of the 10th Division, the Bronx River. He was killed by the police along with a number of the Black Spades, as well as a member who was our president, who was also shot in the same encounter, but survived. He was the only survivor. That occurred January 7th, 1975. Okay, so just by that, and by what Bam has said and what anyone else has said, the Zulu Nation could not be in existence in 1973. So that's not to refute or anything. I'm just telling you what the chronological timeline just doesn't support that. Okay, and we were still Black Spades in 1973. And I would say the Zulu Kings, which actually precedes the Zulu Nation, because the Zulu Kings came, the Zulu Nation kind of came and resulted as a popularity because of the popularity of the Zulu Kings. So late 75, maybe early 76, all right? The Bronx River Organization definitely could not have started until 1975 because it starts upon the death of Soulski, and that is 1975.
a future paradise. Been spending most their lives living in a future paradise. Been looking in their minds for the day that sorrow's gone from time. Keep telling of the day when the savior of love will come to stay. Who of them will come to be? How many of them are you and me? Proclamation of race relations, consolation, integration, verification of revelations, acclamations, world salvation, vibrations, stimulation, confirmation to the peace of the world.
It all started up in the Bronx. In the Bronx, it was a deep-rooted gang culture.
In 1971, gang violence had escalated to a fever pitch.
There were gangs literally in every corner. The violence was everywhere. You could hear the shouts in at nighttime.
It was a lawless time.
Crime was like the major income of the Bronx.
This is getting out of hand.
On December 8th, a series of events transpired that rocked the Bronx. The outcome would come to change gang life in New York City forever.
That was one of the worst days in South Bronx history.
Remember that scene from The Warriors? Can you dig it? That really went down. That really happened.
Charlie wanted to get the Ghetto Brothers to mobilize for the biggest bloodbath in the history of New York.
We lost a member that they viciously murdered him out there in the street. Now it's an eye for an eye.
I've called New Jersey, I've called Connecticut, I've called all the boroughs, I've called everybody. The Bronx was going to be bathed in blood.
My business at the point was to quell down the anger.
He said, let's go see Gwendolyn. That's Cornell's mother.
Let's go see her. Show respect.
I said, Mom, I've got an army outside. And she said, Charlie, my son died for peace. I said, God damn.
She didn't want to see other children die. So he understood after what please. You know, Charlie, that could be our moms, man. It's an omen. It's your mother talking to you. It's my mommy talking to me.
Word of the murder and fear of reprisals spread like wildfire.
All the gangs were there. At the 174th, they were waiting for the big war. We said, no, we're not gonna do anything.
We ain't doing nobody. Gotta figure out how we're gonna do this.
Representatives of over 40 of the city's most notorious gangs met at the Hoe Avenue Boys Club in the Bronx.
You're standing right now with 9 delegates from 100 gangs.
Basically, it was just like the movie The Warriors. Everybody was tense because nobody knew what was going to jump off.
I got them while they were still in revenge mode. They wanted to see war. You look at the guys that were sitting in front, those are all the guys that murdered my boy. One of the guys, the president of the club, came up to me, Benji, I don't want to die. Please, I don't want to die.
A lot of the people that were at the meeting, they decided, well, hey, you know, we're just killing ourselves. We're hurting our own neighborhoods. We better put a stop to this.
At the end of this historic summit, an inter-gang peace treaty was signed by every attending leader.
following day, the day afterwards, you didn't feel the hostility you did prior to Black Benji's death.
People was being invited in areas where they used to would never even step into that area. People would go to certain parties that you would never even step in that party or you know what would happen.
We're having house jams, we're having basement parties. It was different.
Beyond running the gang, Yellow Benji was also the leader of the Ghetto Brothers Band, a unique and well-loved rock and Latin funk outfit. Peaceful block parties hosted by the Ghetto Brothers and other local gangs began to multiply, helping to dissolve the invisible turf boundaries that had dominated for years prior.
Here's where the whole thing started to change. Colors were starting to come off, and little by little, that's when the music started to come into the field.
The Bronx's own DJ Kool Herc, considered the founding father of hip-hop, played a crucial role in redirecting gang energy into this new and growing movement.
Herc started something his enemies didn't want to stop.
It's the Bronx in the house!
We don't want to hear what was being played on the radio, what was being played in the clubs. We were trying to reach out for the beats, that raw essence, them heavy drums.
Outlaw gangs transformed into DJ crews. A major shift in attitude made way for this emerging culture that was taking hold of the youth in the Bronx. There was no closer connection between the gangs of the Bronx and this budding hip-hop movement than Afrika Bambaataa, who had personally taken it upon himself to convert the fearsome Black Spades into the Zulu Nation.
The principle of the Zulu Nation at that time was to show that we can turn ourselves around from negative to positive, and we was doing that through music.
When the gang scene started fading down, it was the DJs who started becoming the stars in the community, the leaders in the community.
I believe that we were making a statement to society, so to speak, that had forgotten about us, that we have worth.
Report to the floor. The crowd wanted more, so I came with the door. Brick rocked up, paper mace to the pen. Now I was born and the light strikes again. Elements burst and gave birth to the burst. With the pen from the nurse, I hook the mic up first. It absolutely, positively has to be here on time. I deliver a rhyme. Now here come hip hop, hop to this one. I got more kids, they hate to miss one. Style got jazz in it, crowds out of control. As I got the mic and I got the soul. Hold the press, cause I ain't tryna hit a rest. You'll get bucked down if you even try to fuck around. I'm at my show, my crew is thick, never lacking, always packing, and plus I'm looking dip. Front on your one, cause I dig the trigger. 5'3", but I'm liver than a bigger nigga. And don't doubt my potential. I'm a giant in the mental when you play the instrumental. Ain't a nigga in this place that can fuck with this. Slap a bitch up and tell a man to step up to this. And watch him drop faster than a free fall. To be a giant, you don't really have to be tall. Rappers who thought I was dope, yeah, they had sense. The ones who thought I was weak, now they past tense. You can't phase or amaze me. Not an OG or a cool G, I'm AG. You were definite, but now you're not sure, cause you never heard the lyrics of a giant before. In the mental. never stop the funk flowing from New York, cause I'm a native bred and born, and I love to talk about the MC battles and those cool crews, kicking rhymes with my boys while they drinking 40 brews. Hip-hop is the medicine to soothe my brain, an imitation MC causes lots of pain. A good DJ could make my day, but with the microphone I love to sing. Get the stand steady, now you're ready, understand, cause we got the master plan and I'ma kick it if I can. Yes, yes, y'all, we can do this all night long, cause the vocals are strong and the rhyme goes on. My style has pauses, I fight for causes, I don't bear sins, just wins, no losses. Of course I tax the tower, got the power of mistake. I'm getting papers from my show, so yo, I'm heading to the bank. Yes, I'm a New York trooper, kinda like the New York Yanks. And FM DJ heard your record, he won't play it cause it's stank. I used to bless the Buddha and my rhymes are always stronger, and when I started to stutter, only meant the herb was stronger. I'm outy like the Saudis on the alternate route, when the girlies are cute and I want to knock boots. But still it don't matter, cause I can still scatter, and I got more hats than the mad Jimmy Hatter. Chump chit chatter, my brain is filled with data. Some beats are fat, but G's beats are fatter. Give us a props, I think we gotta take all the praise and dedicate it to Bambaataa. Funk, 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 funk.
Giving up respects to Africa Bambaataa.
Yes, yes, y'all. Cheap, cheap, girl. New York, girl. Don't stop, y'all. Zulu.
The reason why I had Apache first, I had it from different versions, but the reason why I had it first, because the Incredible Bongo Bear used to play on the benches right over there, and they used to play on the benches right there, right in the circle. And all the wins video. And that's true though? That's true? Yeah. Yeah? And just like me and Green Eyes, when me and Green Eyes said it on 8.
How can we still know that same shit if it wasn't happening?
Me and Green Eyes said it on 8, and we said boom, 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 boom.
Salsa major people, Willie Colon.
All that started from the
Yes, indeed. It's the Mix King. Ron G. Got something the world ain't ready for. New York City, LA, Chicago, Queens. Y'all know the deal.
Yo, what's up? Puerto Rican good. Here you go. Punch it. Okay? You happy? Okay? Put it to bed.
There you go.
Put it to bed. We all one. We are one people. We gotta stop fighting against each other. We are one people. I grew up with Puerto Ricans and black people, my family, all around me, my whole life.
Did you see Latino brothers and sisters doing b-boying, breaking, hitting the ground?
Absolutely. Booski. You know, my father is from Ponce, so what you know, my father is from Ponce, so what you know.
Let's go. That's what's up.
Yeah, so Pablo, Ghost, you know, so I that's one of the social constructs that creates these problems. I think that that's a conversation that needs to be dealt with because it is based on ignorance and it's based on a social construct that people have got caught up in, have drawn this line of what cultural expressions, origins based on skin color.
Right.
It's the European social construct that is contaminating this conversation. And we have to remove it so that we can all understand the origins of these expressions that we all come from. You know, culturally, you know, we listen to all kind of music all day.
Right.
You know, music in Spanish was prevalent in our neighborhood.
Everywhere.
And the brothers would come out with the congas and bongos and, you know, all kind of percussion instruments, and would jam all day and night, you know. And so we had the drums playing outside in our neighborhood all the time. And I think that was one of the most important things for our connection to those African rhythms that triggered, you know, some of the dancers in my community, because we had the drums. The drums was always talking. And all summer, you know, there was a part of the day where there'd be a troupe of percussionists outside just jamming.
Kid Nice, New York City Breakers. I started breakdancing in the 70s, 71, 72, somewhere around there. The Family Force was the bigger crew, but they weren't breakdancers, they were just a crew. The breakdancers were the Seventh Deadly Sins, and Gago John was the one who started me breakdancing. He taught me some moves. I'm talking about this is way back, 71, 72, 73, somewhere around that time.
I started off as a B-girl, and I was 9 years old. We're talking 1972, as a B-girl. I had to learn these moves. I kept watching these guys. They was breakdancing on the ground. I was like, I could do that. You know what I'm saying? And I was like a little tomboy. So I was like, I want to try that.
Smokey, DJ Smokey. He used to do, oh my God, he had so many beats and so many different type of records. That one day in class, I'm in class, and they was like, we going to the block party. Smokey giving a block party. And I was like, I'm coming. They used to play music in the street. And the guys was breakdancing in class, and you know. So I was looking at that, and I was like, "Wow, I want to know if I could do that." And this little guy named Troy Maldonado, I'll never forget his name. Maldonado, I'll never forget his name. He was like, "I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you how you can break dance. You can do it, cause you Dumpatron and you easy. You could do it." And I was like, "I don't know." So he told me, "You gotta hold your hand and swing your leg." That was the sweep. But he was doing other stuff. I was like, I want to do that. He said, you got to learn this.
Smokey has said that within the Luggatrons, the females, Sister Boo, there were Puerto Rican B-girls that were dancing with that crew. Look at Mario, we got Tex Hollywood. I mean, I just saw an interview today where these dudes are mentioning Tex like every other sentence, like he was popular. So he's Puerto Rican, David Santiago.
Remember, they bringing up Tex. They're bringing up Tex. Right. They said, oh, when Tex was playing, whatever. Name one Spanish record that I'll go call Tex right now. Name one Spanish record that Tex ever played.
Si, do, re, do, si, do, do, la, do, re, mi, re, do, si, la, sol, si, la. Hipócrita ya, cuenta las cosas atrás.
Hip-hop comes from many different styles, it takes from many different music, has many different beats, that brings out many different groups. So we don't care what nationality or race you call yourself, you so-called black, brown, yellow, red, and white people, because it all goes back to that one race, the human race.
We stop break dancing. When Puerto Ricans came in.
Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind?
And messed it up.
Oh my God, bro.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
How did this get
Get your ass on.
Instead of breaking and being a b-boy, it became more like a freak. So Zulus was like the Zulu freak masters now. I was like, oh, that's whack. You know, I still want to break. You know, so I started hanging with more of the Spanish kids. That's the Spanish, Latin kids, Puerto Rican kids, and they were still breaking.
In '77, if people didn't pick it up, then it kept going, it would have died.
Now
it would have died.
Here's a statement somebody said. They said the reason that the black b-boys stopped b-boying was because the Puerto Rican b-boys messed it up.
No.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
ridiculous. See, that's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Get over it, guys. Everybody, get over it. Let's let the argument stop today. Blacks here, Puerto Ricans here, all together. All together. And like I say, we on one line. It's whites on this line. It's Asians on this line. It's Africans on this line. It's Arabs on this line. Polish, Moscow, all over the world on that one long B-boy line. All you got to find is where you are on that line. That's it. If it's 73, it's 75, it's 2022. You're on that one line together. That's it. What do you do to make the dance better? That's the only argument we got to have. What do you do to make the dance better? Not if you're black, not if you're Puerto Rican, not if you're Irish, or if you're Transylvanian, you're a vampire, you're a werewolf. I don't care as long as you're on that line dancing. That's all I care about. So let's go, please, today let's kill this beat.
Where are you now? Into my life when I need you most. Love, don't
niña, lo que yo quiero hacer te va a traer ondas de placer. Lo que quiero es un poco de amor. Necesito, mami, tu calor. Lo que quiero es un poco de amor. Necesito, mami, tu calor. Un poquito de amor. Un poquito de amor. Un poquito de amor. Un poquito de amor. Oye, preciosa, si quieres tú gozar, acurruca el ritmo con tu precioso cuerpo. Entonces, niña, si quieres más placer, escucha lo que anhelo hacer. Lo que quiero es un poco de amor. Necesito, mami, tu calor. Lo que quiero es un poco de amor. Necesito, mami, tu calor. Un poquito de amor. Un poquito de amor. Un poquito de amor. Un poquito de amor.
That Soul Train line now, the Soul Train gang to the music of Earth, Wind, and Fire and Mighty, Mighty.